Welcome to the Lone Ranger Radio Show. Bruce Woodburn, CrossCountry Mortgage. Thank you for joining me on this beautiful weekend. Hopefully we can avoid some rain again today. But hey, if you have questions about buying real estate, purchasing a home, selling a home, what's going on with this NARS settlement, what's happening with interest rates, can we expect to see mortgage rates dropping because of the Fed cut? You know, the Fed dropped the Fed rate by 0.5 point. That is the first drop in rates in 4 years. That's pretty impressive. I think it's going to do a lot for the industry. We're already seeing our business picking up. My new applications have increased by about 50% in the last 30 days. That's a nice little bolster. Now, that is still not what we see as a normal market. Usually I would see a little bit more than that, but that's better than we've had in quite some time. So I'm really excited about the future. Who's buying right now? We're going to talk about that. What type of mortgages are available? Listen, if you're struggling right now, you've been pre-approved. Once you're pre-approved, if your lender tells you, don't shop, don't let anybody pull your credit anymore, don't listen to them. What they're trying to do is keep you from shopping and finding a better deal. You can always find a better deal if you've shopped with me. Call me. I'm available now in Tampa today, 813-213-4009. That's 813-213-4009 or webringyouhome.com. Orlando, 407-706-3313, 407-706-3313. Hey, listen, you know what else I'm looking for? Maybe you can help me. I'm looking for people that have 2 years mortgage experience in the origination or processing aspect that would like to work on the front end of my team, helping me get my clients pre-approved and helping them gather documents. So these are the things that I need. Bilingual is preferred, but I'm looking for great loan support, 2 years experience. Now, if you're a loan officer out there and you're struggling, this may be a great opportunity for you. We have great benefits, great comp plan. It's amazing. Now, if you are a loan officer and you're not happy with the company that you're with, call me. I have branch opportunities throughout the country. So we have the highest producing loan officers in the entire industry with CrossCountry Mortgage, the highest producers. So when you're looking for a company, why would the best producers in the country want to go to a company like CrossCountry? Well, there's a lot of reasons. First of all, we have more loan programs than any other lender. We have the fastest underwriting. We don't have overlays. I don't have to broker loans, so I don't have to go all over the place to find a lender that's going to take my loan or pay me the biggest commission, which is what brokers are doing. People used to think that a mortgage broker was there to shop the best rate for them. They never were. That was a big lie. They're there to shop the biggest commission for themselves. That's what they're there for. So my team does not have commission. They're salary. So they always want to put my client in the best loan that's available for you, whether it's FHA, VA, USDA, down payment assistance, jumbo. Oh, these are the things. These are the things that cause people to come back to me time and time again. I had a client come in the other day and I told him, I don't think you should do a mortgage right now. I think that you're not in a position, not that they weren't qualified. They were qualified, but they wanted to buy an investment property. He's in his 80s. She's in her 60s. And I'm like, you know what? I just don't think that this is the right situation for you. And they were trying to supplement income. So I looked at it. They already had a rental property. And I said, you know what? I think you should keep what you have and let's just start consolidating some debt. And they're like, you're trying to talk me out of doing a mortgage with you. I said, I'm not talking you out of doing a mortgage with me. I'm trying to give you advice that is serving for you, not for me, because she could call any lender around. They're going to go, heck yeah, we'll get you pre-approved, go buy that investment property and away you go. I could have done the same thing. I don't believe that giving people the advice for me to put another loan together is the right thing to do. It's not right. It's just, it's against my ethics. So if I don't feel right about it, I'm going to tell you I don't feel right about it. Now, if you insist on applying, I'm going to take your application and I'll get your loan approved. but I'm also going to throw you my 2 cents. Had a great class this week. We had our home buying and wealth building class over at Sam Sneed's. Fantastic. Great. Had a lot of people sign up. In my Leapfrog program, I have a couple clients. One's up to 10 properties already. One's up to 6 properties already. They've only been in the program for 3 years. So you want to learn how to invest in real estate, how to build generational wealth? I can show you how to do that. If you have a adult child or grandchild that's renting right now, get them into one of my classes. If you can't get them into a class, let's do a Zoom meeting. But I'm going to tell you something, helping young people become homeowners and developing a way for them to learn how to build a portfolio of real estate will create wealth for them well ahead of their friends and their peers. I'm telling you, you buy a home in your 20, your chances on retiring wealthy are much greater. I think I heard 70% greater. Now, listen, I like helping young people develop multiple properties. My son, I'll just give you an example. I insisted he buy a home within a year after graduating from college. Now, he struggled because he had to save the money for his down payment. He did a 3% down payment, Fannie Mae first-time homebuyer program, got the seller to pay closing costs, and he got into a home, and it's 3 years ago. He's ready to buy his next one, and he's already got $175,000 in equity in his home. How many 26-year-olds do you know that have 175 grand? Not many. And he could have never saved it. It'd be impossible for him to save it based on his income. But when you own real estate, and he bought real estate when everybody was going, oh, real estate's going to crash. Real estate's going to come down. Don't buy now. Interest rates are too high. Give me a break. That's foolishness. Listen, here's the deal. When people are afraid to buy, that's when you should buy. Listen to Warren Buffett. Be fearful when others are greedy. Be greedy when others are fearful. Now, let's just break that down. Be fearful when others are greedy. Who was greedy during COVID? Sellers were getting more than their ask price. People were paying over ask price. They were having to waive appraisals. It was greed. Okay? Warren Buffett was not buying property then, even though interest rates were better. Be greedy when others are fearful. So now people have been fearful because interest rates been higher, and people were concerned that, that housing prices may drop. So what did Warren Buffett do? Bought as much as he could possibly buy. Companies, property. So why? Because he sees the fear. So I go back in time. When did I make mistakes with that same thing? Back after the recession. So I was in the business. It was terrible when the market crashed after 2006 through 2008. It started to recover in 2009 through 15. I did not buy any properties during that time frame. Why? Because I was in fear. I was afraid because the economy had spanked everybody. People were having bankruptcies, foreclosures, short sales. But think about the people that bought property during that time frame. They made more money than anybody. The housing prices literally have quadrupled since that time period. That was a big mistake. My second big mistake was that I sold properties in 2018. I sold 5. Now, what happened in 19, 20, 21? We had COVID. That's when the prices skyrocketed. I lost about $1 million selling property too soon. So I didn't buy enough. I sold too many. Those were my 2 mistakes. I've never met a rich renter. Are you a renter out there? You renting right now? Okay. I can tell you one thing. You'll never amass wealth as a renter. I've never met a rich renter, but I met plenty of people that own real estate that have made a lot of money and have become wealthy. I have a client right now. He's a cop, and she's a teacher. So they make a moderate income, about $115,000 combined income per year, but they have about $5 million worth of real estate in equity. $5 million. Plus they're going to get their pensions. So that's how you do it. Now, their pensions would have given them a decent living in retirement, but now they can live like kings and queens because they did it right. Listen, I'm here to help you. Call me now, 407-706-3313. That's 407-706-3313. Or WeBringYouHome.com. Get your application made. Hey, listen, if you call me, you're going to hear back from me on Monday. I had a couple of people that called me on the weekend last week. We put several new transactions together, but I had other ones. They called me about a mortgage and then they don't answer their phone. Why would you want to call the loan arranger? And he takes time to make sure he carves time for each and every one of you and you don't return my phone call. That's horrible. I think that's disrespectful when people don't return phone calls. And listen, if you no longer want a mortgage or don't have a question any longer, then call back and say, hey, thanks for calling me back. I really appreciate it, but I don't need your help anymore. Why wouldn't you do that? Come on, let's be respectful for people. Listen, you get a phone call them back or text them and say, I don't need your services, but thank you very much. That's what you would want. Don't you get frustrated when you call somebody and they don't return your call? It's disrespectful. So don't do the same to others. Like Mama said, okay, you treat people the way you want to be treated. And that's the way we should do it. All right. My name is Bruce Woodburn. I operate all over the state of Florida. I lend in all 50 states, but I'm right here in your backyard. I have branches in Tampa, Orlando, and Daytona. So if you need the loan arranger, you can call me 407-706-3313 or 813-213-4009. I want to talk a little bit about the Fed cut and how that's going to affect interest rates. So listen, great news. Fed had a Fed cut, first Fed cut in 4 years. And what are interest rates going to do? So right now, I don't think they're going to do anything right now. We have another meeting in November. I would really be doubtful that we'll have another Fed cut since we got the 0.5 point, but it's going to take 3 months for this to sink in. It's not going to happen instantly. As a matter of fact, as soon as the Fed made the Fed cut, the bond market, which is what we want to do well, because when the bonds are up, rates are down. So the bond market started to rally. It went up about 23 points. Then it went to zero. Then it went to negative. So why would rates get worse when the Fed drops the Fed rate? Now, when I say worse, they didn't really get worse. They just didn't really get better. So why would that happen? Because the market had already built in, based on the anticipation that the Fed would cut the Fed rate. Because if you got a mortgage and we're closing now, you probably applied 30 days ago. Well, that's when the rate started to come down 30 days ago. So we would have already dropped rates in anticipation so that when we sold that mortgage or closed that mortgage, we could securitize it based on today's rates. So they were already built in. You're not going to see an improvement in interest rates anytime real soon. However, I think it's a bright horizon, and I think that the market will continue to bolster. So there's other things that I want to hit today that I think are important, and one of them is debt consolidation. So right now, with interest rates dropping, you're going to start seeing tons of advertisement. You'll probably see Robert Palmer back on there advertising refis with no closing costs. Listen, anybody can do a no closing cost loan. I can do a no closing cost loan too. But when you compare a no closing cost loan to a loan that there are closing costs, but I add them into your new mortgage and you don't pay them out of pocket, you're going to find that your interest rate is significantly better. So listen, you got to look at the whole picture, Now, some of you should wait to refi and some of you should do it right now. If you're consolidating debt, call me now at 813-213-4009 or 407-706-3313 or go to WeBringYouHome.com. Now, listen, I'm going to take a little break, a 5-minute break. And in 5 minutes, I'm going to come back and we're going to talk a little bit about the market, but I want to talk about different loan programs that people are getting right now. What's the market doing? What is causing people to jump in the market? And how can you negotiate the best possible deal for you when you're buying a home? I'll be back in 5 minutes with more of the Loan Arranger Radio Show. Please don't go anywhere.